and welcome to today's Learning Series webinar. This is the last webinar that we'll be holding in December 2025, and we're happy today to be joined by our Quest development team, who are going to be talking about some latest innovations, as well as a roadmap review as we head into the new year. So I'm one of your hosts, your kickoff host, Dave Del Vecchio. I'm the VP of Marketing and Communications for Sourcepass. I'm a 30-year MSP veteran, and I get together and practice with my friends just often enough to say I play bass in a band. And I'm going to be joined today by Brian Spanno, along with multiple members of his team. Brian is our Director of Product Development. So Quest is one of many of his responsibilities, but Quest is foundational to the Sourcepass experience. It's one of the key differentiators working with us, and he and his team are constantly innovating and expanding the ways clients can leverage the platform to get more done and empower them to really leverage technology to the next level. In addition to his over 25 years of application and web development experience, I was trolling Brian's LinkedIn a little bit and figured I'd share on his behalf. He was the founder of the roller hockey club back at his university, back in his college days. So Brian's a hockey guy and a hell of a golfer too. So if you ever have a chance to talk to Brian, feel free to talk about either of those subjects. I know he'd appreciate it. So as I mentioned, this session is part of what we refer to as our learning series. So we have two series of webinars primarily through Sourcepass. The learning series is designed to help you get more out of the investment you're already making with IT. In addition to learning how to better leverage the Quest platform, we tend to focus heavily on tools in the Microsoft 365 ecosystem. And we run these sessions with a regular cadence of the second Wednesday of every month. In addition to this, we run our digital transformation webinar series, which is designed for decision makers to keep an eye on what trends are happening in technology, to be forward thinking as they consider the continual evolution of technology in their small, mid-sized SMB and mid-market businesses. We're not going to be having a digital transformation webinar later in December, simply because of the upcoming holiday season, but it comes back with a vengeance in January, when we actually have 3 webinars scheduled. Our learning series will be on 365. Where are my files? This is going to be a great opportunity for people to learn a little bit about OneDrive, SharePoint, and file management through Teams, and really from a user's perspective to understand when you're saving your files, where do they go, and how can you find them, which is an important component. That will be on January 14th. The following week, we're actually running a seminar specific to our Sourcepass Gov clients. Our Sourcepass Gov business unit focuses on education, small local governments, villages in New York State, for example, and police departments. We've got a core business where we support dozens of police departments. So we're going to be talking a little bit about managing projects with Microsoft Planner and To Do. And then our digital transformations discussion in January is going to be about cloud scalability and operational efficiency. That's going to be a panel discussion with some of our engineers talking about ways to optimize cloud deployments. So if you're interested in these or any upcoming sessions, keep an eye on sourcepass.com/events to always keep an eye out for what's coming next, either these virtual sessions or as we plan out our in-person training and get-together schedule for 2026. So in today's session, your Q&A button will be available. So if you have questions you'd like to have answered, please feel free to leverage that or the chat feature. We'll try to keep an eye on those. But if we don't answer your question in line, we will visit those towards the end of the session. And in a worst case scenario, we'll have somebody from the Quest development team reach out to you after the session if your question is something that's specific to you and your environment. You'll also be receiving a request to complete a survey at the end of today's session, and we do encourage you to do that. We do look at all the surveys, and it influences our decision on scheduling future sessions. I will offer, we had a recent Excel session as part of our learning series, and the resounding feedback we received was more Excel, please. So 4 of our learning series planned trainings to occur, webinars to occur in 2026 are going to be on different aspects of Microsoft Excel. So we do take your feedback seriously and incorporate it into our decisions as we plan out our calendar. So please do take our survey. We appreciate your time doing so. So with that, I'd like to reintroduce Brian Spanno, Director of our Product Development Team, to come on stage, introduce himself, and take it from here. So Brian, there you
Thank
are.
you, Dave. Appreciate
You're
that.
welcome.
And, I would understand why everybody loves Excel. So that's exciting for everybody, I would think. I think it makes sense for us to kick this off by looking into Quest and talking about some new capabilities that we have ongoing here with Quest and what we've done over the course of the last year, specifically also what we're planning for the next year. So appreciate everybody taking the time to join this session. This is unlocking new capabilities. Again, I'm Brian Spanno, the Director of Product Development here at Sourcepass that Dave introduced earlier. And during this session, I'll show how Quest's latest capabilities transfer and translate into faster acknowledgement, response resolution, and making things a little bit more easy from a productivity standpoint. We will review what's coming, take a look at a real client case study examples, and hand off to some colleagues of mine, Brittany Magnus and Joe Niederhauser, to demonstrate some of the outcomes that happen inside the product. So today's focus will have obviously the new features, but also measurable impact, understanding what's coming also, what we have down the line, and looking at those live demonstrations, time scheduling, change management, outage dashboard, assets, some new features there. And I think showing that resolution time can be improved. That's one of the main focuses here too. So let's kind of talk about the journey here, looking back at how far we've come since the launch and what that means for where we're headed, right? So this timeline is important because it shows the evolution of Quest from a foundational ticketing platform into the comprehensive IT experience that it is today, and certainly is evolving a little bit further along. So in 2023, when we first started, we introduced Quest with a pretty strong foundation. We were looking for core improvements, making ticket submissions simple and reliable. We rolled out starting request forms, giving clients a structured way to communicate their needs. That was important. And of course, billing and orders for billing users to be able to manage those, and also managing those financial workflows in one place. So this is kind of the year that we built trust, ensuring that Quest could handle the basics in a pretty standard way. But in 2024 is when we took the next level. It was a game changer for us. We launched the mobile app, which I thought was one of the more dramatic pieces for us. It brought flexibility and accessibility to the experience of Quest. Clients can manage the tickets and requests on the go. That was important. We also introduced the insights dashboards to client administrators, giving reporting visibility, trends, and performance. Automation started reducing manual steps. Integrations connected Quest with other tools that clients rely on. So I thought that was really important as well. And then it also was the year we kicked off our beta program, which I think did allow us to be able to understand direction to shape the future of Quest. We invited all the client administrators, and the numbers are staggering, actually. And one of the most exciting additions is AI. Of course, everybody's familiar with what they're trying to do to transform their business using that tool. But in addition, we're doing that with Quest, helping speed up understanding and decision-making. So giving tools that we have there. So we're ongoing with that as well. In 2025, we focused on enhancing the experience. This gave us smarter workflows, better usability. We've introduced the smart request forms that automate repetitive tasks. The premium user and subscription management for control and advanced methods for administrators. And of course, additional advanced integrations to expand the ecosystem. So on the UX UI side, we made significant improvements that made navigation more intuitive, security upgrades to strengthen protection, and our approval center, which simplifies the change management, which we'll go over in a little while, and governance there. So it's about refinement, making Quest not just powerful, but effortless in a lot of cases. So from launch to now, Quest has evolved from a ticketing tool into a full-service IT platform with automation, AI, mobile flexibility, and we're not going to stop there. So the roadmap ahead includes even more innovation there. So that's important. So talk about roadmap, right? What does that future state look like? So the roadmap highlights aren't just really new features, they're solutions to real challenges. Our users face these challenges every day, and we're designing each one of these with the goal of making support quicker, easier, less stressful, less friction for everyone involved. So, for example, the first is the AI chatbot. We're creating a chatbot that we think will transform the way users interact with initially and ongoing with maintenance of service. So why'd we build it? Because we know that many support requests start with simple questions, right? They're FAQs, password resets, quick troubleshooting steps, things you may have seen before. So they may be able to provide information about how to solve it self-service, right? But at the same time, it's also a method that allows you to not have to fill out a standard form that could eat up time for you, and also might not potentially have all the questions to ask, specifically based off of common requests that we see that relate to what your issue is. We can deflect some of those FAQs, providing instant answers, but even triage the context of the request so that when the ticket does need human attention, the tech already has the details. So that's important, right? Fewer delays, less back and forth, faster fixes, so on. So it's peace of mind, and that's one of the more important pieces. From a live chat perspective, this is something that it's a lofty task because it involves infrastructure, personnel, adjustments, and process, right? But one of the biggest pain points we hear is the lag between emails and ticket updates. So every time a question sits unanswered, that even if it's a minute, it's, that's important to even understand what that minute means, right? What's happening? It might mean that no one is working on it yet, or that you were waiting for you and you're busy, right? So at this point, where we have a live chat system, it's dynamic. It enables real-time conversations with support while you're working, reducing the back and forth delays and speeding up decision-making. So it's not something that you have to jump over to your email and check and wait and hope that there's a response. You know that you have a direct line to a technician there. So instead of waiting potentially time for an email response, users can possibly resolve these issues in minutes, potentially. It's not just convenience, it's actually a direct boost to productivity. So we see that as value. And with our infrastructure that we're putting in place, this will down the line solve those issues for users and give an additional layer of support that we don't have today. And finally, one of the other roadmap highlights that we have here is the Video Learning Hub. This is about empowerment. So users want to solve problems themselves sometimes, not all the time. We want hand-holding as well, but they might not know where to start, right? So things that they expect to see, and companies can put in place learning pathways through Quest that can give easy understanding for users, right? Simple ways to solve problems, short, focused videos, making it easy to learn common tasks, whether it's submitting a smart request form, managing subscriptions in Quest, or some of the things that Dave's talking about with Excel. A lot of those things might be as part of learning pathways that your company can use right here in Quest and provide those requirements directly to their users in kind of a pathway certification process. So it shortens the time to competency for both users and admins, which of course reduces frustration, gives everybody confidence to be able to handle routine issues without waiting for support. It's not that we're not here to help you. It's just that we're providing an additional method, an additional layer for you. These pathways for certification, your company could create your own certification layers and options that make Quest not just a service and self-management tool, but also an educational solution, because it can be about any topic. So these features are all about speed, clarity, and control. They help users get answers faster, reduce downtime, feel confident in managing their IT environment. Okay, so let's take a step back. And I know if I asked my UX UI team if they looked at this slide and said, hey, this is, what do we think about the design of this slide? They're going to laugh in my face. But let's take a step back and talk about why these improvements matter, right? So when we look at acknowledgement, response, and resolution, which are the main metrics that we look at for support, right, is that the story isn't just about speed, it's about removing the friction that we see, right? It's about maybe in making sure that we create a better experience for end users. So this slide shows what happens when organizations move away from phone or email heavy support and embrace Quest, right? So performance snapshots, understanding what that particular client's, the shift looks like. And clients who make that shift see dramatic improvements, not just because of magic, right? It's because Quest changes the way information flows. So instead of back and forth emails, Quest captures what matters up front. Specifically, if you adjust your forms to categorize against that, right, which you're able to do. So that means fewer clarifying loops, faster resolution, and fewer delays, right, ultimately. So what is the impact of that? Well, it's less downtime for anybody, right? Less frustration, more confidence that the issues will be handled right the first time, right? First time. So the examples, right? So some of these examples, yes, they're certainly high picked, but we do see these pretty significantly for a large variety of clients. And these represent real world transformations. So when Quest is used effectively and customized, the time wasted on unnecessary handoffs that we see disappears. So clients go from waiting hours or even days for answers to getting issues resolved to a fraction of that time. So, but the one thing to note here is that this doesn't happen by accident. This is when we work with clients to customize Quest. So are the request forms asking the right questions? Do the workflows fit your environment, right? We have our generic forms, which everyone has, but we're also in the process of organizing proper conversations with clients to ensure that their Quest platform is customized in such a way that it reduces that resolution time. We need to know specific information. It might be more customized for your environment and your company. And as a result, we can customize the request forms to ask you the right questions up front, right? These are important. So think about the typical pain points that we have here. A ticket comes in, it's missing critical details, approvals that we've implemented that approval process in Quest. But if it doesn't occur, if you're not using Quest to submit your tickets, approvals can get stuck in somebody's inbox. It's really tech spend time chasing context instead of fixing the issue, all kinds of things like that. So Quest solve these issues by design, but only if it's tailored to your needs. So if we help you customize request forms, we ensure that the right information is captured the first time. That means text can start working immediately without guessing or emailing for clarification. And you can add in built-in approvals using that asset context. You've eliminated the biggest sources of delay. So faster fixes and certainly a better experience for your users, right? So the takeaway is pretty simple. Quest is the tool that we want everybody to be using for sure, but it's also a framework for better service delivery. And when we partner with you to fine tune it, the benefits go beyond just speed, right? You get predictability and peace of mind because your users know the issues that will be handled quickly and correctly. So I'm going to pass this over to Brittany, who's going to demonstrate some of our new productive and fun Quest tools. And we'll kind of show that obviously these are things that will show up in some of these features, but that we're rolling out. But Brittany will go over that. So I'll pass this along to Brittany.
Hey, everyone. So we have 2 items that are currently in beta that I'm going to go over. So I'm going to get my screen shared and share this with you. This is on now, right, Brian? You can see this? Okay. So within here, I'm going to show you 2 items that are in beta. We have one that is change management that we just released and one that is time scheduling. So we're hoping to release both of these to you users within early January, late beginning of February. So within here, you'll see if you go into view tickets, you're going to see a change management table. Within the change management table, you'll be able to look at any ticket types that have the change management type. So you can submit a change management type in two ways. One way would be that you would submit a request form that is a change management request form that you can view and get support. And the other way is that you can just submit a basic request form, whether that's phone, email, Quest. Of course, we prefer Quest, that our service technicians can turn into a change management request form. So this is where you would view it. In order to get it started, you can always just search change management. This is the ticket that is linked to that change management table. You would submit this change. It would get sent to Sourcepass. And within Sourcepass, our service technicians will review this change management request and they will approve it or deny it. If any of your client users go in and let's say they do a basic change management request is what we call it, where they're just submitting a very standard ticket, just saying, hey, I need this part of, my department upgraded or changed for whatever reason. Our service technicians will go into our backend and they will actually send any approver that is listed in ConnectWise a change management request approval. What that looks like today is that if you go into communications, you'll see that there's a change management request section. You'll be able to review, you can see that Rachel Lee submitted a change management request. You can review all the details here, what she's proposing to change, what the timeline is, and you can approve it or deny it. If you do deny it, you do have to put in a note saying why you deny that request. If you approve it, the ticket then gets updated and our service technicians know automatically what needs to be done, whether they can proceed with the change management or they have to reach out to you to discuss further options. So that is our change management flow. Within time scheduling, we've implemented two versions of time scheduling. If you have used our time scheduling feature with our service technicians prior to the Quest time scheduling, you're very familiar with that. You'll get an email link, you'll set up a time with your service technicians, and then you'll meet. We're simplifying that nature by allowing you to simply go into any one of your tickets and enable it automatically. So within your view ticket details, you'll be able to select a time scheduling invitation and get everything set up here. I click the one that doesn't have it. Hold on. So right here, you'll see this icon. And this icon will be enabled or disabled based off of the origin. So we have certain ticket boards that will not support this feature just because of bandwidth or it's not the right department to schedule a time scheduling with. If it does meet that criteria, you'll be able to simply click schedule appointment. You'll be able to go through the flow. You'll put in your contact information, select your time zone, and then you'll be able to select the next available day slots within here. You'll then click any slot that works for you. Click confirm, and then you'll be able to simply join that meeting. You can save the link to your Outlook or Gmail, whichever provider you use. There'll also be a UI banner up here saying you have a pending invitation. The other aspect of our time scheduling is we are going to be legacying the previous time scheduling software since we built one that integrates solely with Sourcepass. So there's nothing for you to do. This is more beneficial for our service technicians and a much simpler process for you. What you'll do is you'll simply just get a time to schedule an appointment. So you'll see here that they're sending you a request to schedule an appointment. You can just simply click this button. It will redirect you over to this Quest UI where you'll go in here, do something very similar here, where you'll select your time. You can also add this to your Outlook as well. You can confirm it. And then you'll be able to save this to your Outlook, add it to your calendar. You can also add it to your Apple Calendar as well. So those two features are coming very soon within Quest, and we think that they're going to be a game changer for Quest in general and a very beneficial feature, especially change management, just so we can optimize your performance and keep you guys doing what you love most and off not doing so much phone calls, playing tag, and just trying to get the job done. So now I'm going to pass this over to Joe. He is also going to show you 2 new features that are currently in beta, which are also just equally as exciting.
I'm going to be showing you 2 new things. I'll start one with this outages overview. So as you can see, it's in your dashboard amongst the service, project, security report. You'll see, so outages, we wanted a space to alert clients that, hey, like there's something that we should look into without spamming them with various triggers, or like, you know, before there were sometimes like dozens of tickets that were being generated in our system. And so we felt like, let's just collapse those and package them all into one ticket. So you'll see here, it's very straightforward. It's very simple. As we're doing discovery with this, we're only including critical and high priority tickets. If they're medium or low, I reached out to our director at the Network Operations Center, and they will look into it, see if there's anything that they need to address up front, and then reach out with either support or with the CSM. So those are the only 2 that you'll see here is critical and high. And critical is like, we need to solve this right now. As you can see, like there's a power outage that will directly interrupt businesses. But then high is like, these are things that could impact business operations in the next few hours or weeks. So, or days rather. So it would be kind of those that clients would probably want to look at. So let's take a look at this one, UPS. That is not the shipping company. It is the uninterruptible power supply. So it's basically saying, hey, this backup power needs to be replaced. So if we click on that, you'll see a very similar interface. It's just like our ticket details. It's categorized by that. You can see origin is from the NOC team. You can see kind of what the system generates of like, hey, this is a brief description of this maybe recurring thing that is common through a lot of clients. And there you can just interact with your technician directly. They'll reach out to you. And so, yeah, that's all it is. As Brittany pointed out, you can schedule some appointments depending on the issue, or depending on the board that it ultimately lands on. But yeah, so that's kind of like a brief overview of outages. So next, we're going to be talking about assets. So we're bringing assets back. Assets 2.0 kind of refreshes the table information. And as you guys know, with Windows 11, they kind of pushed out kind of a mandatory update of like, hey, this last October, everyone's got to get up to Windows 11. And so we figured we could use that opportunities to help out our clients. So you can see exactly how many devices still need to be upgraded to the Windows 11 OS. So yeah, you can go ahead and just click on that, and you can see the table automatically sorts which ones are Windows 11 ready. You can see that these are compatible and that these are good for an upgrade. You can see which devices, and I'll kind of walk through a few of these columns. So last login, one of the things that was requested by our clients was, hey, I would love to know who's attached to certain laptops or workstations. With this, you can see who last logged in based on their kind of username, and that gives you a rough approximation of like, oh, it's this is Peter Parker's laptop, and you can see all the details here. You can see their OS, whether they are Windows 11 ready. Warranty expiration, say they need a new laptop, you'll see this kind of icon appear saying, hey, like this is past their expiration date. They're eligible for kind of an upgrade. And then there's also last backup. So when any of these are triggered, these filters, you can go ahead and clear them with this X, and that will kind of reset everything. So you'll see that there's 3 key actions now that you can take when you're on this page. You can see you can request backups for individual devices. You can upgrade the asset, meaning, hey, I'm going to upgrade from Windows 10 to Windows 11. So software upgrade, or you can just replace the asset altogether. And so let's say I wanted to replace this because this warranty has expired. So I just click that, and you can see it indicates all the devices below that are eligible for that. And it highlights the one that I want to select. So let's say I was like, you know what? Let's just have Charles Xavier. Let's replace both of their laptops. This is for a conference room. So you can go ahead and click next. And this is just a review page to say, hey, these are all the ones I've decided that I want to go with. Make sure the information is correct before submitting this to your customer service manager. So I'll just X out of that. But these requests all get funneled to your CSM. They'll review the request. They'll work with solutions. And that way, they don't have to formulate an email on the side. You can manage all of those requests within Quest. So yeah, and then also, so Windows 11, you can see there's a few. One is like if unknown, maybe they're rocking a Linux or just another device that it's not like a server, but it's like a printer. You can see that there's no OS attached to that. They might come back as unknowns, and those would be great questions to follow up with your CSM. Yeah, we've got little information hovers for what these things are in case you're ever confused. And if you ever want to like filter to see all of those devices, we have these kind of filter buttons up here too that quickly get you into the action. So that is assets. Yeah, there's a lot of ways that you can request help here. So we try to create a lot of different paths. So that's assets. We're super excited to bring it back. And yeah, I'm going to bring it back to Brian to kind of wrap us up here with this webinar. So Brian, I will bring you back here.
Sure. And thanks, Joe. Appreciate that. Dave, I didn't know if you wanted to chat on your items first before you pass it back to me. I don't know if that's something that you want to do. We could certainly take that step.
Sure. Oh, let me come back on screen so I'm not a headless voice appearing from the wilderness. Yeah, just wanted to remind folks, let me reshare my screen as well so you can have access to the QR code, that you'll be receiving the survey after this session. So if you find afterwards you want more information on innovating with Quest, but you don't quite remember all of the addresses to reach out to, you can always reach out to your client success manager and they can put you in touch with the Quest team, or feel free to email eventsat. That's often an email that people will remember, easy to remember. That comes to myself along with Kat Irizarry, who's been lingering in the background. She posted in the chat at the outset, and Kat and I would be happy to loop them in as well. So please feel free to follow up and we'll get you in touch with the Quest team. And also the QR code is the link to the events page. Keep an eye on those January and forthcoming sessions, and we hope to see you again in a future session. So with that, Brian, I'll kick it back to you to do the final wrap up. Yeah,
thank you. Appreciate that. So let me share just a couple more things that I think just to finalize a few more points. I'll kick back and then we can chat about a few things. So one of the things that I think that's really important here is everyone to kind of also consider, if you haven't already, you should be moving into the Quest by Sourcepass mobile app. The app is becoming essential, specifically as we expand Quest into the omni-channel experience that we see, right? It already had that before the mobile. Now it even has it even further, and it's moving even further along, specifically against improving not just convenience. Obviously we have desktop, mobile, and web. So it's obviously convenience is a big piece of this, but also the identity security features, secure approvals, things that Brittany mentioned before too, regarding change management. They're rolling out, right? And the mobile app is the hub for those, right? So with it, you can submit obviously the track and submit and track tickets pretty instantly, and approve changes securely, get real-time notifications for, as Joe mentioned during his presentation about the outages, but also updates, right? So the bottom line is the mobile app keeps you connected, protected, productive from anywhere, right? So we suggest, if you haven't had the opportunity to do that yet, certainly scan the QR for your platform that you have for your phone, and be able to install it. So make sure that you're ready for what's next. So appreciate everybody on the webinar here, and certainly would like to be able to answer any questions that you might have. And it looks like I don't see any questions in the chat at the moment, but certainly if you have any questions, reach out. I mean, one thing to definitely do is the survey. If you have an opportunity, take a few minutes, fill out that survey. It also includes some information about taking an opportunity to meet with us, potentially one-on-one, to gain an understanding, not necessarily providing your own feedback, but also how we can provide you with some information about how your company's usage and metrics can make an adjustment, right? So how you use it today, what adjustments we can make to help you use it even better, which will not necessarily just help your day-to-day usage of Quest, but also help your overall service response, right, and resolution. So just keep that in mind. But yeah, certainly willing to answer any questions if any come through. One of the things just to keep in note too, as we're rolling out features, we'll certainly keep everybody in the loop. We work with the marketing team here at Sourcepass to be able to educate users about the tools that we roll out. In addition, we sometimes add new all of these features and demonstrations either through webinars or one-on-one demonstrations. And specifically, if you're in that beta group, you'll have opportunities. Even if you ask for those, if you're asking for those demonstrations, you can be what we label as a stakeholder here for us to communicate with you, get feedback ahead of full overall launches. But in addition, should you need any questions answered, you can certainly reach out. Those forms are also available from within Quest for you to ask those questions. If you have confusion on any of that, we also have a knowledge center, so we can provide detailed understanding about how each of those features work. One of the things we're also adding in January is on each of the modules that we have in Quest, we're giving step-by-step how-tos for each of those sections. So a lot of them are very self-explanatory, but also we feel that there's opportunities for users to use the tool in new ways that they may not have known before, as long as we're providing that information to you. So you'll see that coming in January as well.
Very good, Brian. I don't see any questions in the Q&A or the chat, so I think at this point we can button it up. As Brian offered, if anybody has any follow-up questions to think about after the session, feel free to reach out either through the Quest app directly or through any of the means we discussed previously. Otherwise, hope everybody has a safe and healthy and happy holiday season, and we'll see everyone in 2026. Brian, happy holidays to you, and Rachel, Joe, Brittany, and the rest of the folks who took part today and are hanging out in the background. Same to you guys. And we'll see you in the next webinar. Have a good one, everybody.
Take care.